Barzell gets it to him. Anders Lee, he scores! A perfect way for Anders Lee's 40th of the season.
Welcome back to our speaking series. Today I have two great guests, two current NHL members, both leaders on their team. I got one from Ontario and Josh Bailey. How you doing today, Josh?
Doing good. Thanks for having me on, Summer.
And another former teammate from Minneapolis, Edina, Anders Lee. How you doing today, Anders?
Doing well. Thanks for having me, John.
Listen, you guys have had some big things happen in your lives the last couple months. You both had brand new babies. Obviously, Josh, it's your third child, and Anders, it's your first. So Josh is well underway with his family. How are things going in New York, Josh?
It's going good. I mean, like everyone, I think it's the days get a little repetitive, but I think having kids in a time like this kind of keeps you busy, keep you on your toes. And my two boys, the oldest is 3.5, youngest is 2.5. So for the most part, I pretty much stick with them throughout the day and keep them busy. And my wife's taking care of our little girl Blake. So it's been going good. I think we're all itching to kind of get past all this and get life back to normal. But I can't complain.
Oh, that's great. How about you, Anders? A new baby in the family. How are things? How are you adjusting to that?
No, it's been really nice. I mean, for Grace and I, just to have this kind of time to really just enjoy our newborn and enjoy Ruby. And for me, who was going to be on the road pretty much the whole month, it's nice to be home and present and get into the swing of things of being a new dad.
Yeah, you kind of cut out there, but that's great to hear. And I'm sure you both are looking forward to a road trip really soon. It'd be great. Now, so are you getting your workouts in? I know you guys are both well-conditioned, great athletes. What are you doing to stay in shape, Anders?
I've been doing a bunch of just body weight stuff. I'm in an apartment here and everything's shut down. So got a Peloton bike here. I've been ripping that pretty good and just doing a lot of little things, kind of stretching and honestly just getting the body back to where everything starts to feel good again. You're 60, 70 games into a season and you're just gassed, you're tired, things are sore. So I think I've taken this month and a half just to kind of recover and now start to build up that strength again in hopes that we start up.
Yeah. How about yourself, Josh? I mean, with two young boys that you're carting around all the time, are you finding time to get some workouts in?
Yeah. I mean, it's much like Andrew said. I think it's the first 10 plus days, maybe it was not doing a whole lot, just resting and trying to get the body back feeling good, like Andrew was saying. And since then, it's just I don't have much equipment here. It's a lot of body weight stuff. I got a good backyard, so when the weather's nice, it's nice to get out there and get a workout on outside. But a lot of body weight stuff, some iso holds and different things that you can kind of tinker around with and really just find ways to get a sweat and really just try and get the body ready to go. That way, if we do get back and get going, we're as close to being ready as possible.
Well, that's my next question. Do you guys think the NHL will be coming back this year? I know there's lots of talk out there, maybe moving it to a remote city, and I think there's only about 14 games left or something like that. I'm sure you guys really want the season to come back, but what do you think the chances of this happening are? Anders?
It's tough to say, honestly. Like, I think everyone wants to finish the season and figure out a way to do that. But I think just logistically, there's a lot that goes into it. And obviously the safety of everyone's at the utmost importance. So we'll see. There's constant contact with the union and the league and all the health officials and everyone. So we're working on it and trying to figure it out. And, I would like to say that we're closer than we are further away from finishing, but we kind of get something new every day in the news, and so we'll see. I'm hopeful. I think a lot of guys out there are, want to have that opportunity to make a run. And you don't ever want to, not be able to finish what you started.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have really turned it around there the last few years, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But how long do you think it would take you guys to get back in shape, into game shape, Josh? I mean, it's the NHL, so 2-3 weeks. What do you think it would take to get you guys back into game shape?
Yeah, I mean, I think 2 and 3 weeks maybe would get us ready. It's such a different scenario, right? It's like when you're leading up to training camp. You're getting ready all summer. So it's when training camp happens, you still get that 2-3 week camp to get back to speed. So this is a little bit different, but I think so. I mean, I think all the guys are staying in shape and doing everything they can to be ready. So I don't know if I have an exact timeline, but I think, every team's going to be in the same boat. So the key is probably just to obviously not want guys getting injured. So yeah, I would think 2 or 3 weeks, should do it.
Yeah, I mean, look at your guys' career. I mean, Josh, you played 865 games. Anders, you're creeping in on 500, and you guys have stayed healthy your whole career. You haven't had, knock on wood, any major injuries. And what does it take to stay healthy in the NHL? Like you say, Anders, you play a bang and crash hard game, and Josh, I know your gloves have come off a few times, and you like to play the body as well. Like, how do you guys stay so healthy in your careers, Anders?
I think the biggest thing is just maintaining. I think a lot of times, guys, and you have to understand your body and where you're at. And if it's a 5-10 minute bike ride or stuff like that, I think, just maintaining a good, healthy diet and all those little things. And at the same time, there's a lot that goes into it on the luck side of things. You got to be fortunate to escape some bad situations or stuff like that. And I think, they've gone my way in that regard. And, unfortunately I broke my leg once, but that was 2 games to the end of the season. So didn't miss many games other than playoffs, which was the worst part of it all. But it's just one of those things where, you put yourself in the best position you can. And, the bounces and the injuries, those kind of hopefully take care of themselves.
How about yourself, Josh?
Yeah, I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head. You certainly need some luck involved. Obviously, you need to take care of yourself, but it's crazy to think how slim the margin is sometimes between having a serious injury or not. I mean, so I think to this point, very thankful for that luck being on our side, and hopefully that continues. I think it also kind of changes as you get older too. I think you change even from the time that I first started and when we would have started junior hockey. The training has evolved so much; it's become so different. And as you get older, I think you rely more on feeling good and trying to keep your body healthy rather than crushing weights and doing all that stuff. I think everything has a purpose, but really, if you're not feeling good, then you're kind of defeating the purpose.
Yeah, and I'm sure, I know when I played, you play through bumps and bruises and a lot of hows, a lot of places hurt, but you just keep playing through it. It's for the love of the game, right? So, we got 2 different guys here. One guy played in the OHL, another guy went to NCAA. Josh was drafted 9th overall. I was there when Josh came in. Great young player. We knew he was going to have a great career. And then Anders, like, you battled a lot of things. You're a 6th round draft pick, 152 overall, and be able to stay positive. Now you're the captain of the New York Islanders. Like, maybe go through a little bit about just staying positive and staying with it all the time, Anders.
Yeah, I think, I have no choice, but I guess I was a little bit of a late bloomer to call myself that. And, growing up and getting recruited, even just to college, it was one of those things where it was frustrating and, you're doing everything you can. You feel great playing against your peers, and you're not getting the looks, or you're not getting, the schools following you that you'd like to. And thankfully just kind of stuck with it and was able to get in touch with Notre Dame and get an offer there and be able to attend school. And that was kind of a big turning point for me, and went off and played junior hockey in the USHL with John Cooper, who's now coach of the Tampa Bay Lightning. So my high school coach played 18 years in the NHL, Kurt Giles. So I had some really good people behind me, telling me and coaching me up and helping me, keep my things going when it wasn't coming, maybe recruiting or maybe the love from scouts or whatever you call it. And so it's just one of those things. You stick to it and you figure it out, and you just do the best you can, and things will fall into place.
So obviously you're glad you went with the hockey route instead of the football route, right?
Yeah, that didn't help me so much either. Yeah.
and Josh, I mean, your story is a little bit different than Anders. Obviously, a 9th overall pick. You came into the league at 19 and just adapted to the game, and here you are. How many years later? 12 years later, something like that. And
Yeah.
Just a great pro and assistant captain of the New York Islanders. We all knew it was going to happen. It was just it was going to take some time. Maybe talk about just learning the league at a young age, Josh, and to where you are now.
Yeah, it's a big jump, no question about it. I think at that age especially, and I was probably a little too young looking back. I probably could have used another year junior or what have you, but I think it was a great learning experience. I had some great people around me, yourself included, that really looked out for me and took good care of me. I had some good roommates. So you rely on, who you're around as well as family. And but yeah, it was a great learning experience. I think you go into that first training camp, you're nervous, you got a lot. I had so much respect for the NHL and watching it growing up, and then you get to, be in the lineup with guys that you look up to, and it takes a little while to get over that wow factor. And but all in all, it was a great first year, and I think the situation our team was in, was able to get lots of ice time and really grow as a player.
Yeah, for sure. It was fun to watch all the young players we had there in New York kind of bloom, and it's great to see you guys having awesome success now. And looking back on that, like, you guys made a lot of changes the last few years. Obviously, you brought in Lou Lamoriello, you brought in Barry Trotz. Talk about Trotzy and a little bit about his coaching style and how it made a quick impact in your style of game, Anders.
I think immediately off the bat, I think Barry came in with obviously such a successful career, and coming off a cup win in Washington, I think just immediately you have that instant respect for him and, who he is as a person. He's an extremely genuine guy and cares about everybody. And so I think right from the get-go, I think as a team, we were just yearning for, someone like him to come take the reins and guide us a little bit. And I think just his attention to detail, and a structure that we all bought into, and I think that just immediately turned us around, and we were just all on the same page, and have tried to build off of that since he's come over and taken over.
That's great. And maybe Josh, it doesn't, the coach comes in, new GM comes in, but it also takes the players to buy in, and you guys, especially as leaders, Josh, you've been there the longest of all your teammates. Maybe talk about the leadership role that you guys played and kind of pushing that through to the younger players of the way Barry wants to coach and just accepting roles in the team. Yeah,
I didn't think we had to do too much of it. We had a group of guys that was definitely willing to buy in. I think leading into that camp, I think deep down, the guys that have been around felt like everyone had kind of written us off, and I think we really felt like I think we can turn some heads here and really not. It's not going to be the season people are telling us it's going to be. So we had a lot of guys that were motivated and ready to work, and Lou and Trotzy set the tone for us. And once we started getting some wins, it's contagious. You start really believing, and I think we still believe to this day, and it just keeps going.
Oh, that's great stuff, man. Listen, guys, I don't want to keep you guys too long. I really appreciate you guys coming on. Maybe tell us one of your biggest goals you ever scored in the National Hockey League. I know, Anders, you got 40 goals. Josh, you got some overtime goals. Maybe before we leave, tell us your favorite goal you scored in the National Hockey League. Josh?
Yeah, it has to be last year in the playoffs. Scoring an OT winner, I think, is every kid's dream. It was probably more Barzy's goal than it was mine. He did a lot of the work, but I was happy to be there to pick up the scraps. And then I'm trying to think of it. For Anders, I think he'll be able to answer himself. But for me, it was there was a lot of satisfaction in seeing him score his 40th. I think, the person he is and how hard he works, and there's a reason he's the captain of our team. I think I said last year, if you could have seen the bench when he scored his 40th goal, it was pretty special. And to have been on his line for some of that year, felt a lot of pride.
Yeah, I know. I think I did a fist pump too when Anders got his 40th. It was I know I was watching. It was awesome. So how about yourself, Anders? What's a big goal you scored? Maybe not your 40th, but you scored a lot of goals.
Yeah, well, I had 40 because Bales had probably 35 of those primaries. No, I think, it's just for me, I haven't had a big playoff goal yet. I don't, so like that's probably something I'm looking forward to having. And so like anytime you have a chance to puck on your stick in the game, I think the first one is something you always remember and stuff like that. But yeah, I think there was one in Winnipeg I got in, that I tipped with one hand. It's kind of been a fun one I've had, but that's about it.
That's awesome. So you guys got a lot of big things coming down the road. You're both extended for the next 3, 4, 7 years, whatever it is. You got Belmont Park. It's going to be a brand new stadium opening up right down the street. How cool is that going to be? You guys have been back and forth buildings at the Barclays Center and at the Nassau. How great is it going to be to finally get your own building, Josh?
Yeah, it's going to be great. I think it's going to be a beautiful arena. The drawings and the layout that we've seen, it's really going to be state of the art. So it's exciting. Still a couple years away, and as you know, the Coliseum's a great place to play hockey games as well. So being there next year will be exciting. And I'm not sure what we had left at the Barclays. I think it was only a couple games, but also it was a good rink to play in too. It was different kind of setting, but I think we're all going to be looking forward to that Belmont opening up.
Yeah. How about yourself, Anders? Looking forward to Belmont opening up?
Yeah, it's just going to be nice to have, a little bit of solidarity. We've been back and forth for a few years now, and I feel lucky to have enjoyed the Coliseum before it got revamped, and been with the Islanders, not with the Islanders, but in the organization for a long time. So I've seen how this has all gone, but it's just to have our building and all that finally figured out. It's just so great for the franchise and the organization and the fans who they've been through a lot, and asking them to come to Brooklyn and back to the Collie and stuff like that, and only just have one home for a very long time. I think it's just great for everyone.
Yeah, and I think our good buddy Scott Boggs will really enjoy the new facilities. That's for sure. He does a lot of running, but that's awesome, guys. Listen, two great hockey players, 2 great friends, 2 great teammates. Listen, guys, I really appreciate you coming on. Best of luck in the future, and hope this season gets underway again, and you guys march in the playoffs and have a great run.
Thanks, Simmer.